Welcome, Thomas. Please share.
Thank you. Thank you, Pamela. Always good to see you.
You too.
Um, Today, I want to talk about a concept which has been core to, I'll say, my life. And I really learned this from my mom, but also my work, and that is telling the truth. Um, you all use applications to map your route to places, whether it's Google Maps or Waze or something like that. The first question it asks you is, where are you going? What's your destination? Equally important is the next question that it asks you, which is, where are you? What's your location? It can't tell you how to get someplace unless it knows exactly where you are. That's the starting place. And so the stories that I want to tell today, and this is really one core one, is about telling the truth and the effect that it has when we live in the honesty of our situation rather than the fantasies or the pretends or the idealizations of where we are. And the story I want to tell, it occurred quite a long time ago. I visited a cousin of mine by marriage who was in Sloan Kettering Institute for cancer. He had leukemia, which in those days was the kind that he had was fatal. But there were experimental treatments, and Sloan Kettering was a place where most of those were happening. It was in New York City. I went in fairly late at night. I wasn't sure they'd let me in. It was after visiting hours, but they did. And I went to see him, and we were talking about how he's doing and what's happening. And his name is Andrew. He was sharing that he was taking a test, which, if the result of this test came back positive, then there was a chance that there was an experimental treatment for him. And I said to him, and I don't know why I asked him this question, it just occurred to me like I should. I asked him, what happens if the result of the test comes back negative? And he said, he just looked at me right in the eye and he said, I'll die. And then we talked at length about what that meant to him and how he felt about it. And he had a young son and how sad he was and things that nobody else would talk to him about because they were all in denial about the possibility, which was far greater, the possibility that he would die rather than that he would be cured. We were all hoping he would be cured. We were all wanting him to be cured. But this allowed him to talk about the situation that he found himself in that he couldn't talk to anybody else about because it made them too sad. This reminds me also of, and so the next day, other relatives went to see him, and one of them called me and said, did you go see Andrew last night? Because they didn't have a log of my name. I said, yeah, I did. I said, why do you ask? He said, because the nurses this morning asked us, he said, it was like, who was that masked man that came in last night? Because Andrew's completely different. He's just seems relaxed and at peace and calm, where before he was depressed or agitated or angry or all those things, of course, that can happen. And I say to organizations all the time when I work with them, I say, the truth will set you free. First, it may make you angry or depressed, or you may get angry or depressed or sad or agitated, but ultimately it will set you free. There was something I was going to say and now I forgot. I'm sorry. I've gotten sidetracked by that last commentary. So this is I find this constantly as a lesson for me. Am I really being honest with myself? Am I really telling the truth about where I am? Am I willing to tell the truth in situations? Am I deceiving myself because it's more convenient or easier or more flattering to think I'm in one place when really I'm in another? And it feels to me like this is a fundamental learning for me, and I'll say for us on the spiritual path, is to not pretend. Someone once said to Tiger Woods, um, when he was in his heyday and was considered the greatest golfer of the time, maybe the greatest golfer ever, somebody said to him, I would give anything to be able to play golf like you. And he looked at the person and he said, I did. That's all he said. I did. He gave his life. He dedicated his life to that craft and became one of the greatest golfers ever. So are we being honest with ourselves? Constantly asking myself, am I really doing what I need to do? Am I listening to that voice? Am I following the path? Am I doing the things that are easy, or am I doing the things that are perhaps a little more challenging or more demanding? And I find for me, it's a truing that's invaluable. The truing of being honest, or attempting to be as honest as I can with myself, is freeing. When I've done this with organizations, I've found it to be a cathartic experience when a group of people can tell the truth about where we are. As a client of mine said, the good, the bad, and the ugly, all of it, all of it, really tell all of it and let it be out there, that it's extremely freeing and even cathartic. People have an emotional experience of being freed from the lies and the deceits and the self-delusions. So that's my message for today. Thank you very much. Always good talking to you. Thank you.
You too. God bless.